and while I'm being observed, it's not going well. Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Karina and I am SLPA, sharing my family, speech, and lifestyle here on YouTube. Today, I'm sharing with you guys all of the hacks that I have learned throughout my years as an SLPA. And I do work in the school setting now, so these 5 hacks that I have for y'all are more applicable to the school setting. However, if you work in a clinic, maybe if you work in groups of some sort or even individual, sometimes these hacks will still be able to work for you and make your life easier. I do want to share this just because I think over time, I've found things that make my job easier. If it's one less thing I have to do and kind of focus more in speech therapy, then I'm gonna do it. And these are the things that I have found. You're gonna find kind of like a pattern. It's more so like getting the students involved in their speech therapy session and kind of giving them things to do. I feel like that's kind of helped me just over the years, and I get to again focus a lot more on the therapy itself, and I'm not wrapping my head around like passing out papers or distributing this, and data tracking leads me into my very first hack, which is data tracking. Get your students, your client involved in this. So this will look different for different age groups. The younger ones, what I like to do is I actually have little dinosaurs in different colors, and I will pick a day and I'll have the students grab 2 different colors. Let's say they have red and they have green. They already know that typically one is the right color and one is the wrong color. And what I do is if I'm having them do the R sound, for example, and I want you to say the color red, each time you are producing that R sound in the initial position for the word red, I will say, okay, go ahead and put a red one in your bucket, put a green one in your bucket. And at the very end of our session or at the end of our activity or game, I will ask that student, Karina, hey, let me know how many green you have. How many red do you have? And so that just takes the job out of, tallies or plus, minus, plus circle. My consistent writing and remembering, okay, they just got that one wrong, they just got this one right. I'm telling them, put this in your bucket if they don't already know. And that again takes away the job of me data tracking. Essentially at the very end, I just gather everybody's numbers, I double check that they're correct, and that's what I write down on my data sheet. Now for older kids, this can still work, with dinosaurs or some sort of object, but for middle school and for high school students, I typically don't do that. I give them either like a data sheet or I'll have them write down plus minus on their own, because by this point I'm gonna assume that they have more self-awareness and they know the expectation, they know what's right, what's wrong in speech therapy at this point. So I don't think it's inappropriate for them to, take data on their own. So I try to do this in different ways, but for middle school, yes, it's very much on their own. High school, it's completely on their own, and I'll just have them maybe turn in a paper or their data sheet for me to just get that job out of the way. Number 2 is having students do a task of some sort. Like I mentioned earlier, I don't want to be worrying about distributing papers or really grabbing the game. I might already have the game out, if I planned that morning or something, but I like to give everyone something to do, especially in groups. This also works very well individually. When it's in individual sessions, I find that the student I'm working with really wants to feel as if they have control over their speech therapy session, right? Because it gets repetitive working on the same things, I would imagine. So in groups, it's also the same thing. I'll typically have, if I have a group of 3 students, I'll say, okay, Karina, I want you to pass out the cards. I don't know. Karina, I want you to distribute all the colors, and then Karina 3, I want you to make sure that everyone gets all of the right materials, or you pass out the cards or something like that. Everyone has a task, and I find that this just gives the students a sense of, like responsibility. They feel that they are choosing the activity, they are contributing to speech therapy, and they're helping out one another. I feel like it really encourages, teamwork, people being held accountable like for their actions, watching over one another. So that's pretty much like the environment I like to create, and I find that it just makes my job easier. I'm just kind of telling them what to do, they enjoy it, and it gets done. My third tip is very much for you as the SLPA. So I would highly recommend, if you don't already have a whiteboard in your clinic, in your classroom, in your speech space, get one. I have started out from a mini whiteboard that I would just carry, and I would carry, about 2 or 3 of them to write something down, and now I have a full-on whiteboard in the back of me that I can use. I recommend that you write something down that is applicable for almost everyone you are going to see that day for your speech therapy sessions. And this could be, for example, one word, like a new word that you're going to introduce to everyone, or a word, maybe not even a word, maybe a sentence, or a sentence that they need to complete. Or maybe the task will be something like correcting this. And so I'm going to have maybe someone come up from one group and have them fix it. They are very nice. Maybe my little ones, I might ask them something different. What do you think is wrong here? What should I fix? And I would model it myself. Maybe if it's a 5th grader or middle school, it would be something like, okay, add on to this sentence, fix it and add on to it, or fix it and combine it with something else. I would recommend this just kind of like a warm-up, and for them to immediately jump into speech therapy and know, I'm here to do this, that. Sometimes I do see that it's hard for students to come in and they feel kind of down, or they're dragging like throughout the day. I feel like sometimes they come to speech therapy and students are not exactly ready for speech therapy, even though they come at the same time, the same days throughout the week. It might be a rough day, or it might be that the day is just dragging on for them. It might be that lunch is coming up. So having something on the board, not always, but having something on the board is a way for them to immediately, become interested in speech therapy and see, oh, hey, what is that? I explain, it's a quick transition into speech therapy. So that's my hack number 3. My 4th hack is to always reward with stickers. And I don't think everyone will agree with me on this, but as someone who very much struggled with behavior management in the very beginning of my career, I think stickers or some sort of reward every day is very beneficial. I think it gives the students something to look forward to. And of course, don't get me wrong, there's days that I either don't have stickers or I run out, I don't have enough for everyone, and I'll just say, okay, no stickers today. And they're fine with it. It's still, that doesn't mean their work does not get done or that they're not, engaging in the speech session. But I find that when I do have stickers, it's just a consistent way for these kids to understand, okay, I did my part today. Or, kind of like a token for attendance. Hey, I came to speech therapy today. Hey, I can't wait to go back and share this with my friends, especially for little ones. They get so excited about the stickers. Now, for middle school and high school, I wouldn't recommend stickers. I actually have recommended in the past something like candy, maybe something like gum. Maybe if it's a special occasion, maybe small bags of chips, something that's going to keep them interested. Now for middle school and for high school, for older kiddos, I would definitely not recommend doing this every single session, because then they're going to get used to it and you're going to have to spend more money, right, on doing this. But I think it's a hack in a sense of like, they're looking forward to something. So for older kids, while I might not sound like something they're looking forward to keep them interested, say, we're gonna have some sort of benchmark test, some sort of test to track your progress so far in a few weeks. I feel like that will definitely keep students interested, and they'll give them something to continue to look forward to in a different way. Obviously, the older kids will want to do better or want to get a certain percentage, maybe set a goal for them and say, okay, I will reward y'all with chips if everyone gets 75% and up. That's just an example for the older ones. So my 5th hack, I think, is the best in my opinion, and this is keeping planning to a minimum. Now, I don't want y'all thinking, oh my gosh, but I plan, very good and it's working out for me. Great. If it does work for you, that's awesome. personally, I like planning more general activities, and I'm saying this just to really save you time. And if things come up, because as an SLPA, you're just on the go, go, go. Your schedule's always changing. You have to deal with either absences, field trips, testing. There's always something going on, right? Always. So in my opinion, if you're keeping your planning to a minimal and planning, maybe 3 to 4 general activities for the day. And by general, I mean something that is flexible, something you could use with your morning group all the way until your afternoon group. And obviously I'm saying 3 to 4 because it's not going to work for every single group, right? Maybe you have an individual session and they need something more individualized. It's going to be different. But the 3 to 4 activities that I'm talking about is like I mentioned, very general, and then you're making it specific as you get these groups that come in. For example, one time I was actually being observed by my supervisor, and I had something really great planned and I was really looking forward to it, and I was planning for 3 students to attend. And while I'm being observed, it's not going well. It took a kind of bad turn because one of the students was not in attendance for the day. They were sick, they were out for whatever reason. I kind of regretted planning so in depth. I regretted planning everything down to the T because then it failed when that one student wasn't there, and I'm sure you guys can relate. So since then, I kind of avoid doing all of that. I've also had people share with me before that in their career, they plan so many activities and then again, someone doesn't show up. Maybe that entire grade level isn't there and you had no idea. And it's kind of just time gone to waste, honestly. Of course, you could keep it for another day, but it just sucks that you took the time out of that morning or that day to plan something that you were looking forward to, and then it just sucks when they're not there. Here are some examples of planning general activities and then making them specific for each group or for every student that you have. Say you're, for example, planning a bingo game, right? There's so many things to target in bingo games. You could target vocabulary, you could target prepositions, you could target describing. So use that to your advantage. And then the specific way that you're going to use it with your kids, maybe telling a student to describe the picture when you grab, for example, a lamp. Okay, where might we find a lamp? That's WH questions, right? Maybe use lamp in a sentence. We have them name antonyms and synonyms for that given word. So that's an example of making it specific throughout the day. So again, my tips were drawing something up on the board, whether that's a diagram, a picture, draw or write down one word, write down a fill in the blank sentence, correct the sentence. So many things you could do up on the board. It's an easy hack and get students excited and jump right into therapy. The other one is using dinosaurs or some sort, something for students to use as data tracking. And if they're older, they can certainly use data tracking sheets or just write down tallies and then you take it all at the end. It takes a lot of the work of data tracking out for you and you're so much more focused on speech therapy. The other one was having students do tasks throughout the session. That way you're kind of just leading. You're worried about, getting the actual data, having students work on different things rather than having to shuffle through papers, pass out things. This way everyone gets like this sense of belonging. They all have a responsibility and something to do in speech therapy. Always reward with stickers as well or something to keep the kids interested. Again, if they are older, you could do snacks, you could do some sort of test to look forward to like online. You could bring in candies, anything that works for you. My last one was, of course, keeping planning to a minimum. I promise these hacks have worked very well for me. If you are incorporating these things, throughout your day, let me know in the comments. And if you like this video, please make sure to give it a like and subscribe to my channel as well, as it'll mean so much to me. And I will catch you all in my next one. Bye.